The Assembly Committee on Government Affairs will come to order. Madam Secretary, please call roll.
Assemblywoman Anderson. Assemblywoman Black. Assemblywoman Brown May. Assemblywoman Considine. Assemblywoman Dickman. Assemblywoman Duran. Assemblyman Ellison. Assemblywoman Martinez. Assemblyman Matthews. Assemblyman MacArthur. Assemblywoman Thomas. Assemblywoman Torres. Chair Flores.
Present. Let the record reflect all members are present. We have a quorum. Good morning. I appreciate everybody's patience this morning. We wanted to make sure that we had the opportunity to work with everybody as we have a whole host of bills and negotiations going on. And I appreciate everybody, everyone's indulgence and working to the very last minute collectively. So I appreciate you for doing that. Members, we're going to meet twice today, so we'll have some items on work session now. And as folk continue to amend and work their bills, we'll be meeting again probably after the evening committee meet, likely after Commerce and Labor. I wanted to give you a heads up, so please do not leave the building, as we will most certainly have to come back at least once more for a few more work session documents in the afternoon. I wanted to give you an idea of what we're going to do now. So for now, we're going to entertain Senate Bill 46, Senate Bill 77, Senate Bill 254, and Senate Bill 349. And those are the ones we'll be taking in action now. For those of you wishing to speak during public comment, know that we will be doing that at the very conclusion of today's meeting, evening meeting, because we're going to recess. So we won't be doing public comment this morning, but we'll move that to the evening when we meet again. So with that, I want to start off with Senate Bill 46. Mr. McDonald, please.
Thank you, Chair. This is Jared McDonald, Research Division. Senate Bill 46 revises provisions related to the Office of the Attorney General. This bill was sponsored by Senate Committee on Government Affairs on behalf of the Attorney General and heard in this committee on April 14th. The bill authorizes any person employed by the Office of the Attorney General who prosecutes or defends actions on behalf of the state of Nevada or the executive branch to obtain a court order to require a county assessor, county recorder, secretary of state, or the city or county clerk to maintain personal information contained in their records in a confidential manner. In addition, SB 46 authorizes certain persons employed by the Office of the Attorney General to request that the Department of Motor Vehicles display an alternate address on their driver's license or identification card. And finally, the bill authorizes the Office of the Attorney General to obtain permits from the Department of Public Safety to own and operate emergency vehicles in the performance of their duties. And we have no amendments on this bill. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to do pass Senate Bill 46. Vice Chair Torres has made the motion to do pass Senate Bill 46. Do I have a second? Assemblywoman Duran has seconded that motion. Members, any discussion? Assemblywoman Dickman, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the time. I have no problem with the Attorney General's people getting these protections in the assessors and recorders offices. The top law enforcement officer in the state is the Attorney General, yet peace officers are excluded from 247.540, the recorder's office. They're included in the assessors, so I don't understand why they're not included in the recorders. Peace officers deal with the public every day, and no one needs these protections more than they do. I have a constituent who's been harassed at home. He's a police officer, and his wife calls me crying. So I don't understand. I presented an amendment to include them in this bill, and it was rejected by the Attorney General's office. I don't understand, and therefore I will have to be a no. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblywoman. Members, any additional comments? Assemblyman Ellison, please.
Thank you. And I thought the bill, it would have been a good cleanup with the amendment. So for the record, I'm going to be a no. I think the amendment should have been added. I thought that was important.
Thank you. I can hear fine with this. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
It's fine. Members, any additional comments? And I do want to say thank you to Assemblywoman Dickman. I know she worked hard on trying to get her amendment going, and unfortunately was unsuccessful in making that work, but thank you for your work, Assemblywoman. And I know you worked that bill real hard, so appreciate you. Members, any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those against say nay. If the nays could please raise their hands. Assemblyman MacArthur, Assemblyman Matthews, Assemblywoman Dickman, Assemblywoman Black, and Assemblyman Ellison are nays. Motion carries. And if I may ask Assemblywoman Anderson, if you could please do that floor statement. Assemblywoman Anderson will do the floor statement for Senate Bill 46. Next on the work session document, we'll do Senate Bill 77. Mr. McDonald, please.
Senate Bill 77 revises provisions related to public bodies. This bill was sponsored by Senate Government Affairs on behalf of the Legislative Committee on Public Lands and heard on May 4th. The bill exempts from the requirements of the open meeting law certain meetings conducted by a public body for the purpose of engaging in pre-decisional and deliberative discussions related to an action under the National Environmental and Policy Act. I believe the Vice Chair would like to propose an amendment for this bill, so I will leave it right there. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And if I may, Chair, the conceptual amendment that I would like to propose at this time is that there should be that the agenda must not have any additional items on it except for what is covered under the MOU.
So, Madam Vice Chair has proposed an amendment. Madam Vice Chair, if you could please restate your amendment and then make the motion afterwards.
Thank you, Chair. So once again, the amendment that I am proposing at this time is that the meeting should not have any additional agenda items except for what is covered under the MOU. And at this time, I would like to move to amend and do pass.
Madam Vice Chair has made the motion to amend and do pass with her verbal amendment. Do I have a second? Assemblywoman Thomas has seconded that motion. Members, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those against say nay. Aye. The nays, please raise your hands. Assemblyman MacArthur, Assemblyman Matthews, Assemblywoman Dickman, Assemblywoman Black, and Assemblyman Ellison are nays. Motion carries. And Madam Vice Chair, if I could have you do that floor statement, please.
Thank you.
And please.
I'm so sorry, I should have made that comment during the discussion. I really appreciate this amendment because I had some pretty deep concerns, I think, that were brought up during the hearing. And so I think this amendment recognizes the fact that there is a need to have communication sometimes of more than just one commissioner or one staff member, but how easy it is sometimes to go beyond that small conversation. So I really appreciate this amendment, and it's really the only reason why I'm supporting the bill now. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the work session document is Senate Bill 254. Mr. McDonald, please.
Thank you, Chair. Senate Bill 254 revises provisions related to discrimination in housing. This was sponsored by Senator Neal and heard on May 6th. The bill revises various provisions related to discrimination in housing. Specifically, the bill establishes new procedures and requirements with respect to investigations and hearings regarding complaints to the Nevada Equal Rights Commission alleging an unlawful discriminatory practice in housing, and revises the prohibited practices that constitute an unlawful discriminatory practice in housing in Nevada. The bill prohibits, with certain exceptions, a person seeking to rent or lease a dwelling from inquiring into the arrest record, conviction record, or record of criminal history of an applicant or tenant, refusing to rent or lease to an applicant on the basis of the applicant's arrest record, conviction record, or record of criminal history, making or publishing any notice or advertisement that indicates a preference based on the arrest, conviction, or criminal history record of an applicant, and evicting a tenant on the basis of his or her arrest record, conviction record, or record of criminal history for misdemeanor offenses, unless the offense occurred on the premises of the dwelling. The bill also prohibits a person from refusing to allow a person with a disability to make reasonable modifications to a dwelling provided the individual pays for the modifications, or make reasonable accommodations in rules, policies, practices, or services that may be necessary to afford a person with a disability equal opportunity to use and enjoy the property. We do have one conceptual amendment proposed by Senator Neal, and you can take a look at that on the next page. This conceptual amendment will delete section 33.5 regarding discrimination based on source of income. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to amend and do pass Senate Bill 254. Assemblywoman Thomas has made the motion to amend and do pass Senate Bill 254. Do I have a second? Assemblywoman Considine Brown May. Assemblywoman Brown May has seconded that motion. Members, any discussion? Assemblyman Ellison, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I really appreciate the sponsor of the bill bringing it forward. The only problem I have that is where it goes into the property, private property rights, and therefore I can't support that. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any additional discussion? Assemblywoman Anderson, please.
Thank you. I really appreciate the work that Senator Neal has done in reaching out and discussing it. I continue to have concerns, however, on moving this under NERC and under then the DETR with the staffing, with everything else. Although I realized during the hearing there was the discussion about we would be able to have then extra individuals for this very reason that would be between HUD and NERC and all that information. I continue to have this concern, however. At this time, I am going to vote it out of committee for the basic reason that I have not had the opportunity to talk about this with the people over at DETR to double check, the staffing and everything, because I know how much work has gone into it. But again, I will be voting for it out of committee with the hopes that maybe we can get some of that information clarified between the time it's getting out of committee and by the time it's on the floor. So just wanted to put that on record, though.
Thank you, Assemblywoman. And so Assemblywoman Anderson will be reserving her right to potentially change her vote, but for now she will be supporting it out of committee. Members, any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those against say nay. If the nays could raise their hands, please. Assemblyman MacArthur, Assemblyman Matthews, Assemblywoman Considine, Assemblywoman Dickman, Assemblywoman Black, and Assemblyman Ellison are nays. Motion carries. And I'll ask Assemblywoman Thomas if you could please do that floor statement. Thank you. Assemblywoman Thomas will do the floor statement on Senate Bill 254. Last on this morning's agenda is Senate Bill 349. Mr. McDonald, please.
Thank you, Chair. Senate Bill 349 revises provisions related to public health. This bill was sponsored by Senator Orenshaw and others and heard on May 11th. The bill authorizes a governing body of a city or county to establish an urban composting zone. The city or county may establish by ordinance the terms and conditions for the use of land owned by the city or county for the purpose of community composting. The new provisions related to urban composting zones or community composting do not apply to any contract for the exclusive franchise to provide waste services that is awarded before October 1st, 2021. A master plan adopted by a planning commission or the governing body of a county or city may include an urban composting element. Finally, the State Board of Health and local boards of health may regulate but not prohibit the sale of unpackaged produce at farmers markets. And we do have an amendment that was posted on Nellis for everyone to see, and I believe we do have Senator Orenshaw in the room who can provide a little bit of testimony on that amendment. Thank you, Chair.
Senator, welcome whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Chair Flores, members of the Assembly Government Affairs Committee, James Orenshaw, State Senate District 21. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for considering Senate Bill 349. I submitted an amendment to the chair. It's posted on Nellis. You'll see from the amendment that I do not have any future career in the legal division because the amendment didn't come out quite as nice and as clean as they do from legal division. But the crux of my amendment is I've taken the concerns addressed by Nevada Division of Environmental Protection that the definition of composting not be placed in statute and be left up to regulation. And I have deleted any language in Senate Bill 349 first reprint which defines a particular method of composting. I think all methods of composting are good. The method that was listed in the bill was what we believed was had the least externalities to neighbors in terms of odor and bugs and anything like that happening because of that method. But by leaving it up to regulation, as we heard from Nevada Division of Environmental Protection, believe all methods of composting should be allowed. And I think that this bill will support community composting, which can then help community gardens and help agriculture, help things be locally grown. And as we saw during the last year with the pandemic, sometimes when people panic, there's shortages, and if there's more produce that's locally grown and locally available, I think maybe there won't be as many runs on supermarkets and the big box stores. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Members, any questions? Seeing none, thank you, Senator, and appreciate you breaking that down. So at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to amend and do pass exactly as the Senator has mentioned. Vice Chair Torres has made the motion to amend and do pass Senate Bill 354. Do I have a second? And Assemblywoman Martinez has seconded that motion. Members, any discussion? Vice Chair, please.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say sometimes we get a lot of trashy pieces of legislation before us. But I can say that this legislation has composted very well. Thank you.
Assemblywoman Considine, please.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to say and appreciate that I spoke with the Senator this morning just to confirm, I think this is a great bill, especially the farmers market, the composting, but just I'm glad that we talked this morning to confirm that that anyone that creates this community composting can do it in any way that they as a community determine. It doesn't have to be any single way. That was my only comment. Thank you.
And Chair,
Please, Senator.
Thank you. James Orenshaw, State Senate District 21, 2 and 3, to Assemblywoman Considine. Certainly whatever would be permitted through regulation, leaving it up to regulation. So hopefully the more methods, the better, and more communities that can participate, the better. And if there's a better method in northern Nevada or in Elko versus Clark County, then I'd love to see all those methods happen.
And just to clarify, I know I indicated Senate Bill 354, I think is what I said. And I just wanted to clarify Senate Bill 349. My apologies for misstating that on the record. It's Senate Bill 349. Assemblyman Allison, did you have a statement?
Yes, sir. That's a close friend of mine that introduced this bill, and I really appreciate it, and I'm glad he brought it forward, and I'm glad you made the changes. But I've got a couple complaints from some of the areas in my communities. So I told them I'm going to go ahead and vote no, but I'm hoping we can work this out and make this saying before it goes any farther, the changes that they proposed. But said you'd have to do it next session, but I'm sure you would be more than happy to meet with them.
And Chair, James Orenshaw, State Senate 21, 2 and 3, to Assemblyman Ellison. Appreciate your friendship. We were always good friends when I was had the privilege of serving over here, and I'm happy to talk to anyone. We've amended this bill in the Senate, amended it in the Assembly, trying to take into account concerns. I haven't been able to make everybody happy. Not sure I will, but happy to talk to anyone you'd like to refer to me.
Yeah, well, thank you. And the vice chair, I think she did it quite well. She must stayed up all night making them statements up, but thank you.
Vice Chair, please.
Thank you. I just want to clarify that I think that it would be overly trashy to stay up all night to make puns. So I would never do that.
And Chair, maybe I better leave before you trash this bill.
Assemblywoman Dickman, please.
So I still haven't fully digested the amendment, so I am. So I am going to be a no, but I'm going to reserve. I may change. Because I love the senator.
Well, thank you, James Ornshall, State Senate 21. Perhaps if you let the amendment have a little acidic aerobic fermentation, it'll get to a point where it's gonna really fertilize and grow.
That's what I'm
Good.
hoping. Thank you.
That joke stinks.
Members, any additional discussion? Seeing none, I will say thank you to Ms. Warren and Ms. Duarte. I know that they worked really hard on this bill with you. And I appreciate you, Senator, being so willing to work with them. I know they worked the bill real hard.
Yes,
And
they
I know-
have. I appreciate
and
their
I know
help.
they still don't like the bill a lot. But I know they worked incredibly hard, and I know they worked with all the members. So I just wanted to acknowledge them because they deserve credit for all that work they put in.
Agree. Thank you very much, Chair. And again, thank you to my friend Senator Doñate over in the other house, who also worked very hard on this bill to try to get it through.
Absolutely. So we're grateful to everybody working together. Thank you for all that work. At this time, we've already taken the motion, and we have an additional comment by Assemblyman Matthews, please.
Thank you, Chair, and I can't come up with any of my own clever jokes this morning, so I may just recycle some of the others that we heard. But like Assemblywoman Dickman, I do appreciate the amendment and the work that's been done on it. I'm going to be a no today, but I will continue to look at it in depth and will reserve my rights. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any additional comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those against say nay. If the nays could please raise their hands. Assemblyman MacArthur, Assemblyman Matthews, Assemblywoman Dickman, Assemblywoman Black, and Assemblyman Ellison are noes. Motion carries. And Assemblywoman Martinez, if I could ask that you do that floor statement. Thank you, Chair. Assemblywoman Martinez will do the floor statement for Senate Bill 349. Members, that concludes the agenda for this morning. We will most definitely be meeting again in the afternoon. And I will send out an email as soon as I have confirmation on what those bills for work session will be in the afternoon. I appreciate everybody's indulgence. We are in recess.